It's always a pleasure to talk to my fellow film critics about the year of film in review. And it's my great pleasure to be speaking to Sharon Hurst, who's a film critic, film reviewer, has her own blog, etc. Sharon, welcome to Movie Metropolis.
Oh, thanks, Pete. Great to be back with you.
Good to talk to you. And let's just start by your general comments about the year of film in review for you.
Um, an average year for me, I think. I tended to feel at first it was a bit underwhelming, but then when I ran my trusty spreadsheets, I found more than I had expected, to which I had given 9 or 10 out of 10 even. So yeah, quite an okay year, and certainly some standouts for me, things in the music department. So we will see that when we get on to reviewing the individual ones.
Okay, all right. So let's go through your list of your best films of the year.
Okay, and as I think I tell you every year, these are not in any chronological order because it's too hard to compare the different genres and say one is better than the other. Anyway, straight in, and seen very recently by me because this one is opening on Boxing Day, a delightful French film called My Brother's Band. A story of a man, Thibault, who has been or is an orchestra conductor. He gets diagnosed with multiple myeloma leukemia and discovers, when all the blood tests are done, that he was adopted. Also discovers he has a brother who comes from quite the opposite end of town, whereas Thibault moves in fairly rarefied cultural circles. His brother Jimmy, played by Pierre Lotin, lovely actor who I'd seen previously in another French film. Anyway, he sort of works for a factory and he plays in the local brass band. He plays trombone. So they're a bit chalk and cheese. But after they meet, after initial hostilities from Jimmy's side, they tend to connect, and Thibault decides he will nurture in Jimmy that musical gene that it seems the both brothers have. Now, this film won a lot of awards at various French the French Césars, and also at the San Sebastian Film Festival. I guess you can call these things crowd pleasers, and I'm sometimes a bit nervous about crowd pleasers, but I certainly found it quite a crowd pleaser for me and quite a Kleenex tissue user upper, because I have not, that gets my award for the most weepy film for the year. I'm not quite sure why it set me off as it did, but I think something about the kindness and the just the generosity of the characters in this film was very beautiful. The music was very beautiful, and it didn't descend into mawkishness. I mean, it was a little emotionally manipulative, but it stayed short of being overly sentimental, which I found really lovely. And I think this is just a gorgeous film. I think gorgeous is the best word for it.
Yes, no, it is a good film. And I must tell you, it reminded me of the film Brassed Off. Do you remember that British film?
Oh, yes, that was another brass band affair, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
All right. An animation this time that I saw very early on in the year by a Latvian director. I think it did win some award, didn't it, Pete? It won an Academy or
It did
something?
win Best
It
Animation,
did,
yes.
okay. Yes, best animation. And again, I keep using this phrase blown away to the point of tediousness, but I was blown away by Flow, which tells the story in a post-apocalyptic world. You never quite know what exactly happened, but the animals are running for their lives to save themselves. We don't see humans really at all. And four animals bail onto a little boat that's going downstream: a meerkat, a capybara, that big Peruvian guinea pig, a cat, and oh, was it a dog or whatever? Whatever they were, four animals on the boat. And ultimately it becomes about how do you save yourself? And maybe you have to save yourself by getting on with those around you that normally you would never get on with. So the film ended up being quite, oh, a lemur, that was the other creature, a lemur. The film ended up being very much in the area of philosophical, I felt, about the state of people and beings on the planet. Very, very beautiful. Now, physically, it's a beautiful film, a combination of hand drawings and CGI work that are seamlessly blended together. And not a word is spoken in this film, Pete. It's just silent, lovely music. And I ended up feeling it was just really sublime and reflecting very much upon those philosophical things of end of the world stuff. What does that mean? How do you be a good person or a good animal in this world? And very beautiful, unusual, lovely, lovely film. That's
Mm.
Flow.
Yes, I agree with you. Good film.
I think while we're talking end of the world, I may as well segue straight onto the life of Chuck, which again has similar themes. The life of Chuck opens with the end of the world, the end of everything, in fact. The Chiwetel Ejiofor character returns to visit his estranged wife, and they sit together just watching the stars blink out slowly in the universe and realize that this is it. This is finito. Everything's over. And they're happy to be together, even though they're estranged. Then they start to notice these posters with a guy, pretty ordinary looking guy on the poster. It says, "Thanks, Chuck, for a great 39 years. And it's like, who the hell's Chuck? Then we flash back in time from the end of the world to Chuck, a very unassuming accountant played by Tom Hiddleston. And he's coming home from work when he hears a young African woman drumming, and he joins in a very spontaneous, in the moment, spur of the moment dance with another stranger on the street. And it's just joyous and vibrant and spontaneous, very beautiful. We go further back in time where we discover a bit more about Chuck, that in fact, Chuck has not lived up to all the expectations that have been around him from his grandpa, played by good old Mark Hamill from Star Wars.
Mm.
And his life has not been anything dramatic, but within his own life, within his own lunchbox, as I like to say, he's absolutely felt fulfilled and he's done those things that he has wanted to do. I just found this a very philosophical film, and they talk a lot about Walt Whitman's poem, Leaves of Grass, where they talk about people containing all of us have universes within us. And again, it's going into those very profound questions of what are we, who are we, what does it mean to be alive, who do you want to be with at the end, what does anything mean? It's one of those films that sparks off that sort of questioning. And for me, I just found it very life affirming and very profound in the moment as I watched it. It really did it for me to sort of celebrate ourselves, no matter how big or small our lives are, that we are our own universe and the universe around us is pretty amazing. So, yeah, loved it. Loved the life of Chuck.
Okay, good one. I wasn't quite as impressed, but no, that's fine.
Yeah, I remember we had that discussion after it. Now, what have we got next? We've got flow. Yes, music. Music. Well, no, let's leave music out. Let's go to another philosophical one. Let's keep them all on a theme. Costa Gavras had a
Ah,
film in the French Film Festival that I don't think is going to see the light of day out there, called
mm.
Before What Comes After, based on a French novel, Le Dernier Souffle, which means the last breath. Now, you mentioned to me, I think, at some stage that this was based a bit about Costa Gavras's own life. Had he been diagnosed to be terminally ill himself, to your knowledge, Pete?
I don't think that was the case, but what he did say in interviews that he was reflecting on his career, on
Right.
his life, and that this
Yeah.
film was
And becoming old.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, okay. So he creates his character. What is his character's name? His character is an author called Fabrice, who goes for just a routine checkup, only to be told, "Sorry, pal, it's curtains for you." And he becomes friends with the palliative care doctor. And then here's the stories of all the people and the patients that this doctor has cared for. So again, it's a very much a film that's looking at what does existence mean? How do you face the end? How do you assess what your life has been? Um, it's a beautiful picture of a palliative care doctor, because this guy is a real listener. He just listens to everything that is said and has a real empathy for his patients. So it's a very beautiful film, I found, and it didn't become sad or mawkish. Again, a celebration of life, the joys in life,
Yeah.
even though this guy is going on to his last breath. So loved Before What Comes After. Maybe it'll turn up streaming somewhere and people can catch it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so now finish with all these end of life things. Let's have something. Well, here's something very uplifting that did make my it's very small film, Pete. You're probably a bit surprised because I don't think it's any earth-shattering film, but boy, it really affected me. It's called Bob Trevino Likes It,
Ah.
about a young girl, Lily, played by Barbara Ferreira, who has a neglectful and disapproving father, and nothing goes right for her. And one day she happens on Facebook upon a person with her same surname. She's Lily Trevino. She comes across Bob Trevino,
Mm.
and she writes something to him, and he puts the little compulsory thumbs up, like it, and they form this beautiful friendship together. And Bob doesn't have many friends. He's probably 50 years old or whatever. And it's another story about simplicity and kindness, the way he takes this Lily character under his wing. And really, that friendship helps to heal them both in their life, because Bob and his wife had lost a child. So both of them have real healing issues to address. And again, it's one of those very small films that had a very deep and special effect upon me. I think it's one of those
Mm.
little gems of a film. And John Leguizamo played Bob, and it was really nice to see him back on the screen.
Yes,
So
I
that's
agree.
Bob Trevino Likes It.
Yeah,
You
nice.
did you like it?
I
Did
did. It was
Krause
a
like
nice
it?
little film. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad we're on the same page here. Now, let's get into a bit of music stuff.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet, who I've always been pretty fond of, plays Bob Dylan in the film A Complete Unknown,
Mm.
which is a piece of Dylan's life. It's not a total a biopic from Go to Woe. It looks pretty much focused upon that era where he betrayed his diehard folksy fans when he picked up an electric guitar and all hell broke loose.
Mm.
It also looks at the women that he'd done wrong by in his life. Um, I thought Chalamet really inhabited Dylan, and he learned to play guitar himself and he sang himself. And so did the young woman. Let me check up on her name because I'm useless at remembering everything. The one who played Joan Baez. Whoever she was fabulous, did her own singing as
Yeah.
well. So I'm most impressed by those films that just recreate an era and the actors inhabit those musicians that they're playing. Thought it was fabulous in capturing the era and a seminal moment in musical history, A Complete Unknown.
Yes. Very good
So that was
film.
a
I
winner
agree.
for me.
Yes, I agree.
Now, okay, what have we got next? While we're on music, let's keep in, yeah, because a few of my films here that I loved are musical.
Mm.
Here's one that I don't think got a very long play, a documentary called Hans Zimmer and Friends, Diamonds in the Desert. This doco was very long, and Hans Zimmer played in Dubai, in this spectacular
Mm.
stadium, which is just all glitter and glitz. But he played a lot of music from his iconic films like Gladiator and what are the films? Lion King, Inception, Dune, Dark Knight, Pirates of the Caribbean. And I sort of thought, oh, some of them are not films that I've had much of a great attachment to, but seeing him do it live with this incredible 18-piece band was just energizing, stunning. The musicianship was beautiful. And the whole thing is interspersed then with interviews of actors, directors, cast members who have been involved with him in the films, and how they've all gotten on and enjoyed working with Hans, and he puts in his two bobs worth. And it's just this lovely interweaving of the music with this guy as a musician, a composer, and someone who obviously, well, according to the film, has really inspired those who work with him. So, and plus it's so beautiful. At one point they go out and sing, the singer is singing in the desert under the night stars. And for me as a music lover, this
Mm.
film again blew me away. So
Yep. Yep.
another ripper music film.
Good one.
More music, and you're going to be surprised by this one because I don't know how this even qualifies, but it's a film and it's on Netflix.
Yep.
It's directed by a guy called Philip Barantini, who directed the 4-part series Adolescence, in which each segment was done in one shot. And here he does one shot with Ed Sheeran. a tiny little doco, 1 hour and 1 minute. And he starts off where Ed Sheeran is doing his sound check. And then in one shot, they follow the guy out from the auditorium hall where he's going to do his concert. And Ed just goes out into the world, acoustic guitar over his shoulder, talking to people, high-fiving, how you going? And singing as he goes. He meets up with someone who's doing a marriage proposal. He visits a surprise birthday party. He hops on a New York tourist bus and entertains the tourists, sings his greatest hits. But the technical marvel, Pete, of getting this together, I did read about it, and there's a little YouTube doco that shows how they got it together. Probably 1,000 crew involved in getting this thing together.
Yeah.
It's just a feat of filmmaking. And again, I found it very uplifting because Sheeran writes some very deep and meaningful songs, and I advise viewers to put the subtitles on so that you can actually be reading the lyrics of his songs as he sings them to really immerse in them. I just thought this film was a joy to watch. It was happy, uplifting, such a testament to a great musician. So that's one shot with Ed Sheeran. Now, here's another that's got music involved, but it's much more than music. Now, where have we got this fellow? So I can refresh my aging brain. Sinners. I didn't expect to enjoy Sinners as much as I would. It is what would one call it? A horror, a supernatural, a music film, a racially charged story that's got a bit of everything in it, vampires and voodoo and you name it. And Michael Jordan playing two people. He plays these twins, Smoke and Stack, who've been pretty much petty gangsters in Chicago. They come back down to Mississippi where they set up a juke joint that's specifically for the local black community. But there's some pretty nasty white dudes out there who want to come around singing folk songs. And these white dudes are not everything they seem. They're coming from another world even. And the whole thing goes incredibly ugly, bloody, and pear-shaped. This film had so much energy in it. I don't want to reveal too much plot, but I just thought it was such a vibrant film. And again, the music scenes were just, they were sexy and they were energetic and they were full on. Everything about this film, just a lusty sort of movie with this great background story that's getting into supernatural stuff. And of course, there's racial issues involved, the white dudes and the black dudes. And I loved Sinners. I just thought it was, Sinner is a winner. Sinners is a winner. So another music one. Now, here's a far more somber, film, another
Yes.
Netflix. Bless Netflix, I always love to call our, you're right, need a water there?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
You're okay, good. Joel Edgerton, Train Dreams, set in the northwest of the USA. A guy who is a pretty inward-looking, introspective fellow, marries Gladys, the love of his life, have a lovely little girl. He can't stay home because he has to go out and earn money. Tragedy strikes and his life becomes very much that of a hermit, introspective, sad, seems to appreciate nature all around him, the forest. But again, it's a film that it's visually vast and sweeping and beautiful, but in terms of humans, it's a precious and small film about human relations and human struggle. And while he is living his life post-tragedy, sort of progress comes to that area, but it seems to just pass him by as he just mourns for things he's lost and lives his life. I found it sad and melancholy, but so, so beautiful, a visual treat. And as for Joel Edgerton, for me, it's one of the best performances I've seen of his. Have you caught this one, Pete?
I have. I fully agree with you. It's such a good film.
Isn't it beautiful? And
Yes.
I believe it only had a week in the cinema. I mean,
That's right.
really, what a shame.
Yeah.
Now, have I any more in my top list? I have to do my little scanning down to remind myself here. Oh, yes, Netflix, finally again. Guillermo del Toro. He has reimagined Frankenstein. No,
Yes.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
With our Jacob Elordi, the Aussie actor playing the monster. Um, the wonderful Christoph Waltz playing the Baron, who is the financial underwriter of the whole thing, and Oscar Isaac playing Dr. Frankenstein. Now, I don't need to tell people the Frankenstein story, but those people who say, we've seen it a million times before, we don't need to see it again, need to know that this is such a humanistic reimagining. Again, the monster is
Mm.
someone who's asking, who am I? Where do I come from? Where do I belong in this world? Who's my dad? Why does everybody hate me?
Yeah.
And it's so very sad and beautiful. I really felt for the monster in this. And I was so caught up in it. I wish again I had seen it on the big screen because visually, Del Toro, as we know, is a master of creating Gothic landscapes, and he goes for broke in this one. I think the
Yes.
settings are just splendido and everything about it. Special effects are so impressive. But again, it's so human. It feels so real and relatable too. It's not just a monster story. It's a human story of over ambition on behalf of the good, or should I say the bad doctor, and the sadness of this creature wanting to know where he belongs in the world. So I love Frankenstein. And
Yes.
that is probably my top 11, I think. I think I've cheated and chosen 11.
That's
With
right.
honourable mentions going briefly to Emilia Perez, The Story of
Oh, yeah.
Suleiman, The Count of Monte Cristo, The Brutalist, and Begonia.
Uh-huh. Did you mention
And you
one
know,
sorry?
sorry,
No, I was just
go
going
on,
to
you go.
ask you, one battle after another. Did you see
I
that?
really, really enjoyed it. It sort of almost got in there. I
Uh-huh.
mean, it got a very high score from me, but when I had to, I couldn't, oh, yeah, I didn't
No,
ultimately. Yeah, I loved it much.
that's all right.
But you know what I realized with horror? I thought, no Aussie films here. So
Yeah.
in all my top ones. And the only ones that for me I really thought were worth mentioning were the documentary Signorinella Little Miss about the contribution of the Italian migrant women to our society
Yes.
by the people that did Lygon Street Si Parla Italiano. I loved it.
Yep.
The biopic about John Clark made by his daughter called But Also John Clark. I
Yep.
loved that.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed two films that had the word kangaroo in,
Yeah.
Kangaroo and Kangaroo Island. I thought they were worthy contributions in the sort of honourable mention department. So
Fair enough.
the Aussies sort of snuck in the honourable mention department. But I thought, yeah, not a great year for Aussie film for
Yeah.
me, but I
Yeah.
believe I missed quite a lot of them. I believe there was a lot of horror this year and
Yes. Yes. Bring
stuff
her
that I
back
just
being one. Yeah.
didn't
I
go
know.
along to.
Yeah, no, no, that's fair enough. It's always going to be a personal, eclectic list, and that's perfectly fine. Sharon, that's great. I just wanted to ask you, were there any films you did see that disappointed you?
Yes, I know you always ask that question, so I thought I would just hastily, Pete, that I don't see a lot of those because I
I
tend
know.
when I get the invitations, if I think, ugh, that's a
Yeah.
waste of 2 hours of my life, I won't go. I was really disappointed with Paul Schrader's Oh Canada with Richard Gere. I
Ah,
just found it a bit pompous and self-indulgent. I was very disappointed in Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman, and this may be a function of my finding her a little bit alabaster and sort of she's supposed to be playing such a erotic, sexy character, and because I don't find her sexy, I couldn't go with that story. And Death of a Unicorn bothered me highly because it started off with a fabulous premise and then it ran off the rails completely and became totally ludicrous as far as I was concerned. So they were three that I managed to
okay.
get myself roped into that ended up disappointing me somewhat, but very little else, that I thought that was a waste of 2 hours of my life. So lucky
Okay.
me is all I can say.
No, that's fine. That's
What
that's
were
great.
your big, yeah, what were
Well,
your biggest disappointment? I'm curious to know.
biggest disappointment. That's a very good question. I think, look, The Surfer, the film with Nicolas Cage, was a
Oh, I didn't mind that actually. Yeah,
yeah, I
okay,
hated it. Uh, uh,
okay.
Joker 2 was, I thought, a waste of time.
Right, yes.
Yeah, and speaking of the issue of life and life choices, Eternity, which potentially could have been a really good film, was, I think, a real miss for me.
Okay, I haven't caught that yet. That's one
Ah,
of the January or Boxing Day releases, isn't it? It's
no,
coming
it's
out soon.
already out.
Oh, it's already out.
It's
Okay,
been out for a
okay.
few weeks now. It's about the
Right,
three people, the woman and the two men who are after her, um, and they're all dead, but they have to decide which universe or
right. Yes.
which place they want to go to live forever. And she has to
Oh,
decide
okay. Oh,
which of the
that's a
two
good
men.
concept, isn't it?
Potentially,
Right.
yes.
Ah, ah.
uh, oh dear. And probably my worst film
Well,
of
I
the
may catch up with it. Who knows?
yeah,
The
yeah,
list of missed films is almost getting as long as the list of seen films. It's just
sure.
impossible to keep up with them at the moment, I'm
I
finding. It's really, really challenging.
absolutely understand. And then the worst film of the year for me was Shell, which you probably
Oh,
didn't
yes, that
see.
was a shocker. Thank you. Yes, you reminded
Yes.
me. In fact, that was such a shocker that I rang the publicist and I said, would you mind if I didn't review it because I'm only going to slam it? So that's why it didn't turn up on my list because it didn't register. But you're right. That
Ah,
and Elizabeth Moss is such a good actress, and I was so
yes.
disappointed in everything about that. And Kate Hudson was a bit grotesque in it. I thought, yes,
Well,
very, very bad.
Kate was supposed to be 68. I mean, how ridiculous. And Elizabeth Moss
Yes,
was miscast. And it was just such a
totally.
poor remake,
Yes,
sort of The
yes.
Substance.
That's right, which was a very good film last year.
Yes.
Why all the horror, though? What's with this sudden obsession with horror at the moment, which is quite bizarre, I'm finding.
It's popular. I mean, even Five Nights at
Hmm.
Freddy's 2, which also was on my list of one of the worst
Oh,
films of the year,
yes,
it's doing
yes.
phenomenally well in America. So there you are. People love
What does
horror.
that say about the audience there? We
Yeah.
better not go
No,
there.
it's just bizarre. But
But
anyway,
as we see, there's just this overload of films, isn't there? It's just too
yes.
much. They've become throwaway items, and I find that sad. I think nostalgically of the years when you went to a film and you talked about that one film for a whole week.
Yeah.
Now I sort of see a film, do my review, out from the brain, next, and it's
Yeah.
just
I know.
sad. You can't treasure them and relish them and mull over them for long enough. Too much out there, I think. Too much
There is, but
money
money
making,
making, yeah.
throwaway items.
Of course,
Mm,
but then we have so many more films being produced after the COVID period, and the distributors
mm, yes.
and independent filmmakers who want to get their films out there. So I can
Yes.
understand it, but you're right. We're flooded with
Mm,
films,
yes. We are.
as Flo said. No, anyway. Sharon, thank you so much. That was a terrific list of your favorite films and some not so favorite for the year. And always good talking to you. And we've been speaking
Always
to,
fun to do the show, Pete. Thank you.
appreciate it, Sharon Hurst, film reviewer, with her list of films that she enjoyed for 2025. Thanks again, Sharon.
Pleasure, Pete. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.